In the bustling heart of J City, Nicole Morgan, a young college graduate, faces hardship after her mother's death in a mysterious car accident. Unable to raise her newborn daughter, Nicole leaves baby Eva at the mansion of Brian Harper, CEO of Harper Group. This decision sparks a dramatic tale of love, family secrets, and vengeance. From pain, Nicole uncovers truths about her father, confronts enemies, and finds happiness with Brian as justice prevails. Their journey weaves through betrayal and redemption, proving that even in darkness, love and resilience can light the way to a brighter future. Nicole Morgan stood before the ornate gates of Brian Harper's sprawling mansion, her heart heavy with grief. In a small basket, her newborn daughter, Eva, lay swaddled tightly. Nicole's mother, Linda, had died in a car accident, leaving her drowning in medical debts and alone. Penniless and without family, Nicole couldn't raise Eva. She knew one thing: Brian Harper, the man she'd met in a fateful encounter, was Eva's father. As the wealthy CEO of Harper Group, he could give her daughter the life she deserved. 10 months earlier, in a dimly lit bar, Nicole, desperate to fund her mother's treatment, was coerced into drinking. Brian intervened, saving her from predatory men, but in a drunken haze, they shared an uncontrollable night. When she awoke, Nicole had only vague memories and a gift from Brian, a rare jade pendant. Now, outside his mansion, she scribbled a note. "This is your daughter. I can't care for her. Please give her a home." Kissing Eva's forehead, Nicole whispered, "I'm sorry, baby. Your dad will take care of you." Tears streaming, she turned and walked into the cold night, unaware this act would change her life forever. Inside the mansion, Brian was arguing with his grandfather, who pressed him to marry and continue the family line. "I don't even have a wife. How can I have a kid?" Brian snapped. Just then the butler rushed in. "Sir, there's a baby left at the gate." Brian froze. Seeing Eva and Nicole's note, his grandfather chuckled. "Didn't expect you to have a kid already." Brian denied it. "This isn't my child." But noticing blood on the blanket, likely from the mother post-birth, he ordered a blood test immediately. Nicole, in her cramped, run-down apartment, clutched her mother's photo, heartbroken. Before dying, Linda had given her the jade pendant, saying, "Find your father, he's a Wheeler." But Nicole had no leads. She only wanted to earn enough for a proper burial. Thanks to a recommendation from her professor, Ms. Wilson, she landed a job at Harper Group's warehouse with decent pay. 2 months and I'll afford Mom's burial plot, she vowed. At the mansion, Brian struggled with Eva, a fussy baby who'd driven away 18 nannies. His grandfather, hospitalized from high blood pressure, barked, "Find the mother now." Brian recalled the woman from the bar, her sad eyes and faint smile. "Find her," he ordered his team, "even if you have to turn J City upside down." The DNA test results arrived on a gloomy morning. "The baby is yours, sir," Assistant Ben reported. Brian was stunned, emotions swirling between shock and duty. Eva, with her big eyes mirroring his, was undeniably his daughter. The blood on the blanket, confirmed as the mother's, fueled Brian's resolve to find Nicole. "She gave me a daughter. I have to marry her," he told his grandfather. Brian mobilized his team to scour J City for Nicole. He pictured her as a resilient woman in distress, stirring a protective urge within him. Meanwhile, he planned a lavish wedding, a gown adorned with 9,999 diamonds, a sapphire ring from 19th century royalty. "She'll love it," the designer said confidently. Brian replied, "First, I need to find her." Nicole, now working at Harper Group's warehouse, threw herself into her job to escape her grief over her mother and daughter. Coworkers gossiped about Brian Harper, the young, rich, enigmatic CEO. "He's got a kid, but no one knows the mom," one said. Nicole's heart raced. She hadn't expected to be so close to Brian. One day, Brian visited the warehouse. Eva, brought by the butler, wailed uncontrollably. No nanny could soothe her. Instinctively, Nicole stepped forward and cradled Eva, who instantly calmed. Brian stared at the slender young woman with determined eyes. "Who are you?" he asked. "Nicole Morgan, new employee," she replied, avoiding his gaze. Captivated by Nicole's gentleness, Brian ordered, "Transfer her to my office as my secretary, $50,000 a month." Everyone was shocked, but Nicole thought it was just luck. She didn't know Brian suspected she might be Eva's mother, given her natural way with the baby. "Have you ever had a child?" he asked. Flustered, Nicole stammered, "No, I was taught how to hold babies." She feared he'd uncover her secret. Meanwhile, Mia Wheeler, George Wheeler's daughter and Brian's self-proclaimed fiancée, seethed with jealousy over Nicole. Investigating, Mia learned Nicole was a poor girl with no background. She dare seduce Brian? Mia fumed, plotting to eliminate her. Unbeknownst to her, Nicole's connection to her family ran deeper. Brian, increasingly drawn to Nicole, intensified the search. He checked blood databases, hoping to trace her. "She's the mother of my child, I feel it," he told Ben. In his heart, Nicole's image grew clearer, not just as Eva's mother, but as the woman he wanted to protect for life. Nicole settled into her role as Brian's secretary, but her past haunted her. The jade pendant from her mother was her only clue to her father, a Wheeler. She entrusted it to Brian, asking for help. "If my father's alive, I want to tell him Mom's gone," she said sadly. Brian, sensing her pain, promised, "I'll find him." Brian's investigation revealed a shocking truth. The pendant was a Wheeler family heirloom, and George Wheeler, a wealthy entrepreneur, might be Nicole's father. George was frantically searching J City for Linda Morgan, Nicole's mother, hoping to rekindle their past and seize Morgan Group's assets, where Linda was an heiress. Brian was stunned to learn Linda was the daughter of Sterling Morgan, Morgan Group's chairman, making Nicole his granddaughter. Unaware, Nicole worked alongside Brian, who grew closer to her. Mia Wheeler, however, kept interfering, accusing Nicole of scheming to win Brian. Once, when Eva spiked a high fever, Nicole insisted on rushing her to the hospital, defying Mia's obstruction. Brian arrived in time, taking Eva for treatment and raging at Mia. "If anything happens to Eva, you're done," he warned. At the hospital, Brian learned George Wheeler orchestrated Nicole's kidnapping. Mia had lured Nicole to a secluded spot where George threatened to disfigure her if she didn't leave Brian. Luckily, George left abruptly after a call from Sterling Morgan, leaving Nicole unharmed. Brian found her, took her to the hospital, and vowed to protect her. After recovering, Nicole faced a painful truth. George was her father, but he'd betrayed her mother and now sought to exploit the Morgans. She refused to acknowledge him, but agreed to meet Sterling, her grandfather. Sterling, nearing death, declared Nicole his heir to Morgan Group. "You're the family's last hope," he said, giving her a priceless jade ring. Moved yet resolute, Nicole vowed, "I won't let George touch Grandpa's assets." With Brian's support, she planned to confront George, her resolve for justice growing stronger. Nicole and Brian's wedding at Grande Mansion was a spectacle, drawing J City's elite. Brian spared no expense, from Gold Bar gift bags to a Michelin 3-star menu. Nicole, radiant in her diamond-encrusted gown, stood by Brian, but her mission was clear: expose Mia Wheeler's crime. George and Mia attended despite tensions. George tried to ingratiate himself, offering Nicole a $100 million check as a wedding gift, which she coldly rejected. "I don't want your money." Brian publicly confronted George about Nicole's kidnapping, but he denied it. "I've never met your wife," George protested. Nicole stepped forward, wearing the Morgan family's jade ring, and declared, "George, you kidnapped me, and your daughter Mia killed my mother." The crowd gasped. Mia panicked, blaming a friend named Lily, but Brian ordered a fingerprint check on the crash car. Results showed no prints from Lily, and Mia, terrified, disguised herself and fled, but was caught. Under pressure, Mia confessed, "It wasn't on purpose. Linda ran into my car." George, devastated that Mia killed Linda, his true love, roared, "You ruined me!" He lunged at her, but was restrained. Nicole said icily, "Mia will pay, and you, George, aren't innocent. The car was from your company." Sterling Morgan appeared, confirming Nicole as his granddaughter and Morgan Group's heir. He berated George. "You betrayed my daughter, and Nicole is my blood." George begged Nicole to call him Dad, but she refused. "You're not worthy." Police arrested Mia, and George was diagnosed with stage 3 AIDS, with 6 months to live. Though pained by her family's truth, Nicole found strength in Brian. She told the guests, "Today I'm not just marrying, I'm seeking justice for my mother." The wedding resumed joyfully, but for George and Mia, it marked their downfall. Post-wedding, Nicole and Brian embraced their new life with love and purpose. Nicole took charge of Morgan Group, learning from advisors to become a formidable leader. No longer the struggling girl, she was a confident woman, respected by all. Brian stood by her, unwavering. "Everything I have is yours," he said, signing a contract vowing not to claim her assets. Eva, now healthy, was their greatest joy. Nicole sang her mother's lullabies to her. One day, she discovered she was pregnant with their second child, a surprise gift for Brian's birthday. "Best gift ever," he exclaimed, hugging her tightly. Sterling, though frail, beamed at his granddaughter's happiness. "You're happier than your mother ever was," he said, opting for a local resort honeymoon to stay near Eva. Nicole let Brian plan it. A hiccup arose when Sterling, wary of Brian resembling George, hired a woman to test his loyalty. Drugged but resolute, Brian rebuffed her. "I only love Nicole," he insisted. Nicole, initially misled, forgave him upon learning the truth. "I'd never betray you," Brian promised. George's life crumbled. AIDS weakened him, and the Wheeler name was tarnished. He lived in solitude. Tormented by losing Linda and Nicole's rejection, Mia, imprisoned for manslaughter, had no chance at redemption. Nicole, unforgiving, focused on her future. Mom would be proud, she told herself, gazing at Linda's photo. They hosted Eva's 1-month celebration, inviting Sterling and friends. Sterling, with months left, vowed to live for his great-grandchild's birth. "You've given me hope," he told Nicole. Brian, holding her hand, whispered, "We've overcome everything and will go further." Nicole and Brian's story wasn't just about love, but resilience and justice. From despair, Nicole became a symbol of strength, leading Morgan Group and building a joyful family. With Brian, she knew that despite a painful past, their future was bright, whole, and filled with love.